Alright, ladies and gents, who's ready to kick some axe? It is day 8 of the HFC SEGAthon.
Oh, Volk, you and your puns. Hey guys, welcome to day 8. As Volk said, we have Golden Axe for you today, and then we're going to go a little bit more on with the very first Yakuza game, played by Snakera and co-commed by Neo. But, Volk, why did you choose Golden Axe for the marathon exactly? Do you have any experience with this?
I have quite a fair bit of experience, because, this is one of the first Mega Drive games I owned, apart from the original Sonic the Hedgehog. It was pretty much the first 3 cartridges I owned for my Mega Drive was Sonic 1, Krusty's Super Fun House, and Mega Games Collection 1, which came with Golden Axe, Streets of Rage 1, and also Revenge of Shinobi.
Okay.
This is one of those games that is, short, but deceptively difficult.
Okay.
Is the best way to describe it.
Huh. Would you describe it as like the Sega version of Ghosts and Goblins?
Not really, since that's more of a side-scrolling thing. This is just, I would say this is more pretty much Streets of Rage, but it's pretty much set in the fantasy setting, so it's like Dungeons & Dragons, but Streets of Ragey.
I got you. So we have the basic premise out of the way. I will remind you all we are once again raising money for Child's Play. They provide children stuck or based in the hospital with toys and video games to help ease their stay. We've currently raised $2,510 for them, which has unlocked 5 incentive games to be played in a special post-marathon block so far. These games are Puyo Puyo Tetris, and you'll have a mode exhibition of that. Then we have Dynamite Headdy. Then it's Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, and that closes out the first day. And the second day is comprised of Amazing Island for the GameCube and Rhythm Thief and the Emperor's Treasure for the 3DS. And we still have bid wars ongoing, such as a night's bid war to see which version of Dreams you want Richie to sing, which version of the game you want us to play, either Saturn or PS2. And obviously, the Sonic Mania Plus character choice bid war is still ongoing, and it seems Mighty is winning by $3 at this point in time. He's actually pulled ahead right now. Yeah.
Alright, so we got our first boss fight, which is a trio of Hammer Bros. Massive Hammer Bros. Look at the size of these lads.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you get pincered in like that, it's very difficult to get out without losing a life, so I'm going to try my best here to be as careful as I can. Get a few jumping axe hits. So in the game you get 3 different characters, and they vary from your magic focused, your melee focused, and you got your balanced. So Axe Battler, who is the barbarian character of sorts, so he's like your Conan trope and what have you. He's the balanced one, so he has decent standard attacks and has decent magic. With the person I'm playing as, Gilius, he, apart from being the Golden Axe rep for All Stars Racing Transformed, is the melee attacker, so his magic isn't as potent. However, he don't need magic. He's got this giant axe which can lay a sufficient hurting on the enemy. And then you've got, I can't remember quite who the female character is, but she's your magic-focused lass. She takes a lot of charging up in order to get her most potent spells, but once she gets them, there's not very much that can survive it. Alright, I was going to say I was going to try and goad this guy into a swinging by, but looks like I was the one that was goaded instead.
Oh, what do you like, Rob?
That's fine. Thankfully, a lot of these enemies just sort of helplessly run towards you and meet an untimely demise.
So what are you playing this on, if I may ask?
I'm playing it on the same thing I used for my Phantasy Star 4 run, which is the Sega Classics Collection, which also has Golden Axe 2 and 3, which I haven't actually played yet. I got Golden Axe 1, but I never really got around to playing Golden Axe 2 or Golden Axe 3, but I've heard good things about 2. Not so much about 3, though. I don't hear much about that game.
That's a shame.
Whether or not it's because it's not as good, or whether it's just because most people tend to talk about 1 or 2, I don't know. But hopefully that might be something I get to the bottom of someday.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of recolors already, Chert.
Oh yeah, you get a lot of recolors in this game. I believe most of the regular as enemies, the dudes with the maces and the longbones, which are the dudes with the clubs, they have at least 6 recolors. Although you don't tend to meet the last couple until right near the end of the game in stage 7 and 8. And thankfully, the dragon trivializes the majority of these next fights.
Nice. I gotta say, I'm really putting mind of Castle Crashers, so I won't be surprised if it took some inspiration from Golden Axe.
It wouldn't surprise me. There we go, that was fairly straightforward. And at the end of each fight, you have to take care of these little bastards. They steal your magic if you have any on you, but for the most part, they're actually handy because they can drop you food and they can also refill your magic, so I don't know. They're bastards, but we're glad they're here.
So how many stages are there in the game, mate?
There's 8 in total. The 8th stage is essentially just a solo run-in with the final boss. There's not really a level to it. So if we're lucky, we should be done with this fairly quickly, but I gave myself an hour to make sure there's no potential disasters that might occur, and if there are, I can correct them easily enough.
Okay, Coke. Well, if you ever want to tackle, like, Golden Axe 2 or 3, there's always future marathons.
Indeed, indeed. Or it might just be something I do on the live stream at some point is the other thing.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I think people have missed your live streaming, honestly.
Yeah, I've had a bit of a run-in over the last few months, especially where I was trying, unfortunately unsuccessfully, to land like a proper full-time job, but I'm still going at it, although it's put me in a position now where I can take care of the whole thing a lot more relaxed. So it won't require nearly as much free time.
It's fun. It's absolutely fine, mate. Don't worry about it.
Alright, so thankfully, if there's even so much of a small ledge, you can easily lure the enemies over here, and then they'll try and jump up in vain, and you can just intercept them, because they don't actually attack you when jumping up towards a ledge. They do have jumping attacks, but they don't tend to utilize them going up the ledges, so easy exploit. Just make sure you keep your distance, otherwise they'll just running tackle you instead, and
Okay, yeah.
you just take damage anyway.
In the spirit of Golden Axe, I am, of course, listening to the All-Stars Racing Transform soundtrack.
Ah yes, we had that on earlier for the Golden Axe track choice.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, that is.
Very good. There's a certain rhythm as well to Golden Axe. If you get 2 enemies on either side of you, you can actually put yourself in a position where you can just time charging attacks back and forth and not get hit. And this guy's almost done. And that's the end of Malt and Hops, as they are known in the credits. I'll leave the credits on because some of the enemy names are quite hilarious.
Well, this was the era of crazy credits, like aliases and whatnot. I think they did that to stop, like, other companies poaching their employees.
That is actually a good point. I hadn't actually thought of that. I imagine the game market was quite competitive between Sega and Nintendo, just like, oh, we gotta get this guy.
Yeah, like, we jokingly describe it as the console war, but it was one inside and out, really.
But how would that even work for the poaching? Because, like, people will think, like, money is just like, hey, we'll pay you a shit ton of money if you come work for our company. But for some reason, I sort of think of, like, this whole Taken thing, where you sort of, like, get, like, this A-list developer who gets, like, kidnapped by the other guy, and Taken's like, I don't know who you are, but I have many skills.
Yeah, I will find you, and I will pay you. Yeah, nothing's gonna beat the Castlevania 1 credits, like Christopher B.
Oh, yes. I believe they were... That was back when they were sort of, like, making nods to, like, Bram Stoker's Dracula and what have you.
Oh, of course, yeah, yeah.
Thankfully, these guys don't charge at you, but they are very lethal. So you don't want to get hit by them if you can help it.
What's that you say, OJ? Also, Tom, we tried to make Flame pay respect to you during Colours, but he refused. Oh my god.
That's a pay cut.
Well, I have to destroy him later for that.
There we go. Alright, I have to say, this is going quite nicely so far.
Good stuff. Also, Nia, since you're in the chat, if you and Snake are a botch up the intro, again, I will physically manifest myself into your houses simultaneously and eat you.
Are you gonna do like the Liu Kang animality on them?
Yeah, basically.
Turn into a dragon, bite off your gonads. That is the HFC punishment.
Hopefully my CGI is a little bit better.
Well, it can't be any worse than Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yikes.
Now, unfortunately, if you chuck people from all the way up here, it doesn't do any extra damage. I felt like they missed a trick there, but then again, this is early days, so maybe they just hadn't gotten around to programming such thing yet. Fall damage was something you didn't get very often. And whenever you saw it, it was always implemented poorly.
Oh, did you want Flame not to touch the controller after he beat the Nega Wisp armor in colours to pay homage to the classic Anton moment? Look, alright, I forgot to pause the game. It's not my fault Sonic kept running into that hole about 8 times in a row. I get no respect around here. No respect.
It's alright, one day you will earn it, I'm sure.
What the fuck, Oh, there's that little moment like, wait a minute.
I was waiting there, just like, wait. Did he get my low-key fire there, or is he legitimately...
Yeah, deserved.
Alright, so these Skelly Bobs are by far one of the most annoying enemies in the game, because if you get caught between two of them, you can just say goodbye to your health bar. So always try and take them down safely if you can. That is some free advice for you. Give me the magic. Thank you. And not so much a huge boss here, but it's more like a gauntlet. Where they throw the recolors that don't have any color or shading to them. Well, they do have shading, but it's very limited.
Just so you know, guys, if you want a bit of Space Channel 5 Part 2 fun, that is the $3,000 incentive game goal. So, yeah, there you go.
Oh yes, I would not mind playing that at all. It is a good romp, especially if you're a fan of Space Michael Jackson.
Yes. Isn't that just Michael Jackson?
Well, I don't know, he is in space.
Yeah, you got a good point. Like, you put him in a volcanic area, volcanic Michael Jackson. Completely different.
Exactly. So I believe this was also released in a few arcades as well.
Yeah, it seems like it would be.
Although I'm not entirely sure though, and can't remember if it was or it wasn't, but it definitely plays arcadey, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Man, all my life I've wanted my own, like, personal arcade. What games would you have in your personal arcade, Volk?
I would love a Killer Instinct cabinet.
Which Killer Instinct?
Both. I would have 2 Killer Instinct cabinets. I would have a Daytona cabinet. If I could grab it, an F-Zero one. Because that would be absolute cash. What else would I have? Oh, I know what I'd probably have. There's this really, really cool Pac-Man, hockey disc machine that we have down near the harbor. It is really, really cool because they just spit, like, these miniature discs at you from time to time. And it's ripping good fun.
Oh, awesome. Let's see, what would I have? Well, just going back to my teenager days, I used to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in the arcade around the corner from my mate's corner shop, so, yeah, I'd have that in. Basically, what happened was, they'd get, like, change from the arcade, or the other way around sometimes, so they'd let the owner's son into the gaming side. It was split in two. There was, like, the gambling stuff, and then there was just like the pool tables and the gaming cabinet. So we went in there and played like House of the Dead, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Star Wars TIE Fighter, stuff like that. So Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for sure. I'd love to play the Mario Kart GP games because I've never played those.
Oh, we have one of those.
An arcade cabinet with Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That would be amazing, I think.
I think just having an arcade cabinet that you can just put whatever the hell you want on there would be pretty neat, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Because it gives you that arcade feel, but it gives you the ability to just do whatever you want with it. Ow! Give me back my dragon.
No, says I.
Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here.
Well, I'm not. Surprise!
I was Death Adder the entire time.
Question of the day. I'm asking people on Twitter what would they have if they could have some arcade cabinets.
Good call. I imagine some people would have some very interesting ideas, although there is one other cabinet I would probably consider. When I was last in London, we went to the Namco Funscape, and there was a Wangdom Midnight arcade cabinet, and it's kind of like arcadey Initial D dealio. That was hella good fun. I'd probably have one of those as well if I could find one.
Neat.
This is not a good position to be in. He says as he gets himself out of said position and is now kicking their asses.
A Guitar Hero cabinet would be pretty cool, yeah.
I could probably get behind that. Although, personally, I don't know. I feel like I've been Guitar Hero'd out. I used to play a lot of Guitar Hero 3 and Rock Band 3 when they were kind of a new hotness. So, I think I'm kind of done with the whole instrument thing for the time being. Maybe if they do something interesting like they did with DJ Hero, maybe I might get back into it again. Alright, Lieutenant Bitter. Come on, just die already. Your friend literally went off the edge of the castle. We didn't see it, it was off screen.
The Luigi's Mansion arcade cabinet, I've yet to play that, but apparently it's not bad.
I had no idea such a thing actually existed.
I think it's like a super streamlined version of like Luigi's Mansion 2.
I see. It's just an interesting choice, is all.
Yeah.
It's not something I would expect.
Well, you know, arcade cabinets aren't adverse to having weird peripherals, like I mentioned earlier in the marathon. House of the Dead 3 has shotguns.
Oh yeah, I suppose that makes sense though, because I mean, I think they wanted to up the light gun game for quite some time now. So I mean, they had shotguns. I think it was House of the Dead 4 that had the submachine guns.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But that's not nearly as interesting. Like with the shotgun, you had to cock it and everything. It was great fun. Yeah, Time Crisis 2. That'd be another cabinet I'd probably have.
Oh,
there was nothing like walking into an arcade and just hearing the Time Crisis intro thing in the background and just going, wild dog.
Now, I want to look up this House of the Dead 4. Brought up House of Frasier first. Don't know how to feel about that. Let's have a look at this shit.
Alright, so now we fight Death Adder, who is the guy that we're meant to be killing in the first place, but he's not the final boss. He comes a little bit later.
Yeah, those are definitely some machine guns.
Although they're not nearly as satisfying as the shotguns, in all honesty. I felt like it was a bit of a step down.
Yep, for sure, mate, for sure. Oh, we've reached page 5 of donations with a $45 donation from Goldstorm07. A new week, a new budget. Super hype for Yakuza in an hour. Put 20 to Mighty and $25 to Flame's Choice. I would have put that 25 towards karaoke stuff in Yakuza, but the first game doesn't have any. 0 Baka Mitais out of 10. I don't know what that means, but thank you. I'm going to put that all on Mighty, so $45 to Mighty.
Excellent. I see you two are a man of culture.
I am. Well, man, I loved Mighty all the way back to the fucking Sonic the Comic Fleetway days.
Oh yeah, true that, true that.
So, you know, it's an and Knuckles mode playthrough anyway, since we reached that incentive, so it's just like Knuckles Chaotix.
Exactly. Except without the stupid, tethering mechanic.
I can take or leave that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as bad as people make out to believe, but there are, like, parts where it's annoying, or there's parts where it's just, like, way out of control. Like when you just get ricocheted to, like, the other end of the map because you got stuck, like, right into a piece of terrain and you finally got let out.
Alright, this is the current standing for the Mania Plus bid war. In last place is Ray with $21.50. Then it's Knuckles with $127.04. Then it's Tails with $215. Then it's Sonic with $224.69. And way in the lead is Mighty with $272.79. The bid war closes when Mania Plus starts on Wednesday the 25th, so you've still got time to shake up the balance, as it were.
Indeed, and with Phantasy Star 4 over and done with, it's pretty much the only bid war in town at the moment, so definitely basically, a good one to get into.
And we have now raised $2,555 on the nosy for Child's Play.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you all very, very much. But we still have a little ways to go yet, so maybe we can get some more.
Mm-hmm. And Deimos does get paid on Thursday, so...
I love it. Oh, you're gonna love that when you see it on your screen, my dude.
Wait, what? What am I looking at here?
Oh, just wait for, like, someone to do something incredibly stupid, and for once it's not me.
I'm waiting.
You may have actually just missed it, but literally the guy charged at me, hit me, but then he fell to his death because there was a pit right in front of him.
Hmm.
Ah, Skeleton, you went to the wrong side of town, I'm afraid, my dude.
Yep. Wow, stage 7 already? Holy shit.
Oh yeah, but I did have other plans for this hour, potentially, if I managed to get through it quite quickly. There's also a duel mode that I'll show off briefly as well.
Okay.
Alright, so they give you a lot of magic at this point, because obviously the final boss is near. And especially if you're playing as, I think it was Alice or something like that, or something beginning with A. And she needs 9 magic potions in total in order to actually use her best spells. She's a greedy like that. Now, do you know what's kind of a shame? Obviously, 2 of those statues came to life, but they're not enemies that ever get used in the game. And it's kind of a shame, because some of those designs look awesome. I mean, look at the guy on the... Look at the guy on the right, especially. Being able to fight him would be awesome. And then you got either Bebop or Rocksteady. I can't... I don't know which way around they go. Like, which one's the Rhino and which one's the, whatever the fuck it was called. The Warthog. And you got that menacing-looking skeleton in the background, too. How cool would it have been if he, like, came out from the wall and started fucking your shit up? That would have been amazing. Ah, so much potential. Like, maybe if there's, like, a Golden Axe remake ever. Maybe that's something they can include.
Oh, lordy, lordy. Yeah, just look at the price of this House of the Dead 4 arcade machine. £3,750. No thanks.
Oh, that ain't cheap.
I'll pass.
I would need infinite money to afford such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
There we go, that takes care of him. And... now it's Death Adder time. Well, not Death Adder, this is Death Bringer. There is a slight caveat to this fight, wherein the skeletons are completely invincible, so don't bother taking them out. Just try and avoid them as best you can, and focus on Deathbringer. And Deathbringer does not fuck around either. He will make mincemeat out of you very quickly if you're not careful. Oh, I almost got him into like a stunlock situation where I can also take care of the skeletons, but it was not to be.
What a shame.
Alright, let's try and concentrate a little bit here. Oh, damn it! He got me from all the way over there. That guy has reach. Alright, thankfully we've got 2 credits, so we should be able to do this. Pretty much all your extra lives you've been managing to save up till this point have been basically for this dude. Ooh. One of the skeletons got stuck for a while. This might present a potential opportunity. Oh, he got himself out pretty quickly, actually. Alright, cancel that potential idea. Alright, I think that might be another life gone.
I know you do, Deimos. I know you like scaring people over the bid wars.
This was the enemy that'll drop the defeat axe for Grizz. Who knows, it might well have been.
Oh yeah, Simpsons Arcade was delisted, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's right. So if you didn't pick that up, tough luck, I'm afraid.
I remember completing that in an arcade, because I took over from someone who, like, got to almost the final level, still had change or credit in the machine, and just walked away for some reason.
Maybe he was just fed up because Mr. Burns was a cheap son of a bitch.
Yeah, I guess.
Alright. Come on, he must be nearly dead by now. Oh, these skeleton fuckers are so cheap, I hate them! Why did they have to make you invincible? Alright, we got one more credit left. And then we can set up some dual mode so we can show that off briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, 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 wow. I do quite like this music though. Golden Axe has pretty sweet music.
You just reminded me, I haven't checked out the final boss music for Phantasy Star 4. I should do that now.
Oh yes, there's one called Ooze. I'm not sure what the one after that is called, but it's the one directly after Ooze. Mm-hmm. Or it's either Ooze is second and then... one of the two, I know that much.
Okay.
But it is a top track. I highly recommend it.
Let's see.
Please die. Oh, god damn it. Oh, he's down. And...
Nice.
Ka-chunk. Right in the gonads. And so we emerge victorious, having defeated Deathbringer. Unfortunately, we didn't just steal his axe, I suppose. We just left it there as a symbol. Don't fuck with me, else you get an axe to the gonads. And thus we save the land, and we get the credits. Where we get to see... Actually, the credits theme is actually very, very fun. It is probably one of my favourites.
Now prepare for a grand feast.
Indeed. The grandest of feasts. And bards will sing of our tale. So yeah, that's pretty much the arcade version of Golden Axe, but as I mentioned before, there is a dual mode as well, which I'll try and show off briefly whilst we got some time. It works kind of similar to how you would expect like a 1v1 situation to go. You can either do player versus player, or you can go for a gauntlet, which will have different enemies for you to face and they'll get tougher as you progress through. So I'll see how far through that I can get, and hopefully he'll buy some time for Snakerer to get himself ready as well. So do you have much experience with games similar to like Golden Axe or Streets of Rage? I'm not sure if you mentioned this when you were on Streets of Rage 2 as Snake.
No, I don't, sadly. This sort of beat-em-up isn't really my style.
Well, let's see. Obviously, I had the arcade stuff, like the Simpsons game. There was the X-Men game, which I had some brief experience with when I went to... I'm pretty sure it was like one of those Haven holiday parks in Cornwall. They had one of those set up there, so I was like, ooh, X-Men. This seems fun. And it's ridiculously unfair, to say the least. However, I did get to hear Welcome to Die before it got memed to hell. And then obviously I've got Golden Axe, Streets of Rage 1, Streets of Rage 2. I had some brief experience with Double Dragon on the Master System as well. That was pretty fun. But apart from that, well, I suppose after the Super Nintendo era, there wasn't really much in the way of these sort of beat-em-ups anymore. Bouncer was like the nearest one, I think, and that came out in the PS2 era. Then from there, it was pretty much up to indie developers to kind of fill in that gap. And I suppose now, like, the most recent one we got, somehow, some way, is Shaq Fu, which is a scary thought.
Yeah.
I haven't actually heard much about that game. I'm not sure whether it's like meant to be just hilariously bad, actually fairly decent, or just decisively eh. Maybe someone in the chat can enlighten us on that, because I wouldn't mind being knowledged in that regard. Ah yes, the legendary chicken leg. Now, I want to know what possessed them to sort of look at that thing and say, it's got to be called a chicken leg. We can't accept anything else.
Well, you know, they didn't give a fuck back in those days.
And it's the blue eyes white dragon and the red eyes pink dragon. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to show off much of the pink dragon because we kind of had our own dragon by then anyway. But the fireballs are very, very good. They are borderline broken, which is probably part of the reason why you don't see them very often. And for some reason, they also show off the villagers as well, even though they were just part of the set piece. But I guess they wanted to include everyone. And then Death Adder Jr. You fight him on stage 3 if you opted to try out beginner mode, which is 3 stages in total, and whenever you use magic, you only ever use 2 magic pots at a time. So it allows you to spam magic, which is kind of hilarious, especially if you picked the female character. But like I said, you only get 3 levels, so you don't get to progress all the way to the final encounter with Deathbringer. Then you got Axe Battler. Terrace Flare! Alright, so it wasn't Alice at all, but it sounded similar. Weight question mark, because obviously you can't ask a woman about her weight. And then Gilius Thunderhead, who is the plucky dwarf that we were playing as before. Apparently Shaq Fu has a bonus Barack Fu mode. Are you serious? Is that an actual thing? Because that would be legendary. I mean, you have this rather unique credit sequence where you got one of the Longmoans batting the producers and what have you into the sky. Alright, apparently he is dead serious, so I'm guessing Barack Obama is in Shaq Fu. Why?
What?
We don't know.
I mean, that game was in the making for a while.
But I don't see many actual answers about how good the game is. I have a Flaming Bagel for Christ's sake, it's so bad it's good, so... It definitely beats out Shaq Fu's so bad it's bad scenario. Unless you felt like fighting Mum Ra for some reason. But I mean, if they at least made it half decent, I'd say that's a relative success. Since Shaq Fu was kind of iffy as it was. It would be very hard to make it much worse, but you'd have your work out for you to make it better whilst keeping the overall core intact. According to Neo, the game itself is really bad, but the cutscenes are great. So it's one of those ones where you can sort of go onto YouTube and just type in Shaq Fu cutscenes. Apparently it had a very good animation studio behind it.
Well, there you go. How's the game, though? I'm not hearing anything about the game itself.
Well, I got someone who said it's so bad it's good, and another one who just said it's bad. So that was Neo saying that it was bad, but the cutscenes are great. Yeah, I remember when Shaq Fu Reborn was revealed. It was during the same Game Awards that Konami got called out for being dicks.
Wow.
I vaguely remember that, although I had to sort of think to myself if it was just a dream or something. I was just like, wait, this can't be real, surely. Arcade game design, Team Shinobi. So, obviously, I think Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, and Revenge of Shinobi were all made by, like, the same group of developers in the end. Which is kind of neat. Because that would mean they had a hand in making a rather terrific set of games. Strength 49.5. That puts it as a solid B. Not quite an A, or an A+, or an A++, or an A+++, but that's very hard to do. You basically have to go through the entire game without losing a single life, and considering how much Deathbringer eats lives, it's very difficult to do. So anyway, let's show off the duel, and we'll pick Gilius up again for this, since you don't get magic, I believe, for this, which makes it a little bit trickier. See if you get some magic, which you can... No, you don't get magic at all. So,
okay.
You pretty much have to rely purely on your physical attacks. But thankfully, you can kind of stun lock enemies at the back of the screen. So, it makes it quite easy to take them down if you can just pin them in the corner.
So is this just survive, essentially?
Yeah, it's pretty much like a survival mode. I can't quite remember if you get your health back in between each round, or if you have to kind of sit on a set amount of health, and that you have to basically complete all, I think it was like 12 or 14 rounds?
Uh-huh.
With just your 8 pips of life. It wouldn't surprise me if it was the latter. It would make more sense. And you've also got a timer as well, so if you don't defeat them within a certain time either, you lose. So you can't just sort of play conservatively, you have to try and be the aggressor. Get off your dragon. Mine now. And now I can show you how cheap the pink dragon is. You just stand back, wait for them to get back up, and just shoot a fireball at them, and they can't do shit all about it. More annoying skelly bobs. Alright. Bring it on. There we go. This should do the trick. Just go back and forth. Well, not forth now, because one of them died.
There you go.
Hey. More long moans. They don't give you much time either. You only get 30 seconds for these fights, so... I believe the later fights you might get more time, though. Since the enemies are significantly beefier. But I don't think it's much. I think they might only give you like an extra 15 seconds, maybe 30 tops. It's a really challenging little mode, actually. I do recommend it if you're kind of tired of running through arcade mode over and over. Alright, double dragon chicks. This is going to be interesting. I need to immediately disarm one of these. Not like that. That is the incorrect way to do it. There we go. This is the trick. Oh, not quite. Oh, these ladies. They are not being nice, Tom.
Well, you're the one who chose this mode.
Oh, just about managed it. The time was literally on 0 when I got the final hit down. Come on. Oh, no! I only have 3 seconds left! Go on! Yes!
Nice.
Enhanced skeletons. I don't think you even see these in the run through the game, so they pretty much bring these guys especially for dual mode.
Not fucking around anymore, boy.
Yes, now we'll destroy you! And looks like I was kind of right. They do give you an extra 30 seconds towards the halfway point.
Cool, cool.
It's handy, but unfortunately we're only down to 3 pips of health, so we've got to be careful. But I believe this is pretty much the halfway point. It's a cheap strategy, but the skeletons themselves are cheap. I say they deserve it. Alrighty. Let's take on the Bash Brothers. Narrowly avoided that. I honestly thought I was just gonna narrowly miss that guy with that charge. Jesus Christ. Like I could just see it. Please let the hitbox be slightly longer than I anticipate. Just in the nick of time. I would love to do an impression of Brooke from One Piece for the skeletons, but I can't quite match up to Ian Sinclair's wonderful voice acting. So if I go silent, it means I'm concentrating and making sure I can get this stun loop.
It's fine. If I go silent, it means I'm incompetent and don't know how to fill space.
Oh, it's fine, it's fine. Say anything that comes to mind.
Potato. Sorry, I panicked.
It's alright. Although I'd question why you'd think of potatoes in a panic, but
I'm Irish. Well... I'm kidding, it's a joke.
A French fry stalked me in my sleep one night. One thing I do quite like as well about dual mode is how the sky slowly gets darker and darker as you progress. Nice. No issue with that one. Alright, Battle 12. We got 2 Lieutenant Bitters to deal with. Ooh, this is not going to be easy. Especially not with 1 pip of health left. You have to be careful with these guys though, especially because if you time your dash attack wrong, they could still slice you with their sword and you'll end up losing at least 1 bar of health. I believe this might be the last fight in dual mode as well, so if we conquer this, we are the champion. There we go! Congratulations! You've won against all your enemies. You can get more power and techniques because of your victory in this duel. Very nice. And of course we get the credits again. Alrighty then, well I bought a little bit of time. Would Tasnikara and Neo be ready to start Yakuza a bit early?
I'm sure they will have to, so yeah, they can play music if they're not ready, so yeah, let's sign off.
Alrighty then, well, thank you very much for joining us folks. That was a very quick run of Golden Axe, certainly faster than I was expecting. I even had time to do dual mode and kick the shit out of that, so very happy with how this went. Clearly my practice has paid off, so can't ask for a better result than that. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off so that Sneakera and Neo can get themselves prepped and ready to go. It's going to be a long one, folks, so make sure you got some snacks and what have you ready. But should be a good romp. I've heard good things about Yakuza in the series as a whole.
Yep.
Any closing thoughts, Tom?
I'm going to turn my fan on now because it's hot.
You know what? I think I might join you. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to put the fan as close to me as humanly possible and bask in somewhat cold air. So I'll see you folks tomorrow, and we'll be back soon with some Yakuza.
Bye.